Hello, hello. Welcome to MTG Unraveled, where we each choose a magic card and over-explain it to distract you from your current hyperfixation. I'm Rafa.
And I'm Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Each of us has picked a specific magic card as usual that we think has something interesting you may or may not know about it. So let's go ahead and start off with what your card is today.
Okay, today I picked a 0 mana value card. It's a land.
Oh, okay.
Just name a land. Name the first land off your head.
Command Beacon.
No, that's a popular land. This is not a popular land.
So it's also not Command Tower, none of the fetches, none of the shocks, none of the triumphs.
What am I going to talk about with any of those cards?
The desert.
No, it has no subtypes.
So it's just a land. Forest.
Just a land. Doesn't even tap for mana.
Mazavith.
No, but it's from the same set. It's a rare
okay.
from The Dark in 1994, just like Mazavith was from.
I have every card from that set memorized. You do too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, as you should.
It's obviously Glacial Chasm.
No, I've traumatized you with that card, though.
Yes, you have.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you the first line of text, and we'll see if it helps at all, but I don't think so. It says, the original text on the card says, tap, exchange 2 of opponent's blocking creatures. This exchange may not cause an illegal block.
What?
Yeah. You just, like, basically take 2 blockers and whoop.
Haha, you thought so.
Yeah.
Kidding.
It's okay, it's got a downside. The original text for the downside is, this card does 2 damage to you and 2 damage to each creature you control whenever it is tapped.
Those better be some pretty necessary block swaps.
I don't know, I think it's funny. I kind of want to play this card.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
And the card's name is Sorrow's Path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that land.
Yeah.
You got that one? Good. All right.
Someone out there would know that card just by the text. Someone plays this card.
Probably.
Yeah. The OGs.
Why?
The real ones that have been playing for 30 years. They would know this
I
card.
don't even know if most of them are playing this card.
That's fair. What's your card?
Okay. We have 3 generic black legendary creature.
5 mana mono black commander. Obnixilis?
No.
I don't know. Give me more.
Okay. The creature types are elemental, bird.
Pretty sure I know what bird this is. Don't play this card.
You should. I talked about
monsters.
it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot when the set came out.
Okay, let's see if I can remember anything about it. Other than its name. It's got flying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1.
Yes.
All right.
There's more.
There's more. Oh, it's got ward.
Mm-hmm.
Discard a card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It has a second keyword.
A second keyword. Trample?
Yep.
Yeah, it's got trample. And it's power and toughness 5/5.
No.
6/6.
No.
6/5.
Yes.
Okay. Power creep.
Yes. 6/5 flying trample, ward, discard a card. Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. And of course, this is Maha. It's Feather's Night.
Boo.
Yay!
No.
Yeah.
It's board wipe on a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and tell us about why on earth you picked this amazing land.
It's cool. Okay. And there are decks that you would play it in. So, there. I'm going to read the redacted text. So if you go on Gatherer and you look this card up, this is what it would tell you the card reads now, even though it would still have its original printing on it. So it says, tap, Choose 2 target blocking creatures controlled by the same opponent. If each of those creatures could block all creatures that the other is blocking, remove both of them from combat. Each one then blocks all creatures the other was blocking. So that's how it reads today. If you play this card, act like it says that on the card. And then it's a triggered ability for the second part now. It says whenever this land becomes tapped, it deals 2 damage to you and each creature you control.
Okay, the second part, great. Much more
yeah, it's today
point.
Word.
The first part, though, I think this is the first time I've dissociated during the redacted version of the card. It's so many more words.
Yeah, I think it's for all the intricacies that the game has now because it's more structured than it was in 94. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into the rules. There's a couple. This has 2 abilities. The second ability triggers any time it becomes tapped, whether to pay for its ability or not. So basically that's saying if someone has a Yavimaya out and you tap this land for a green, it's still going to deal 2 damage to you and your creatures. So straightforward, but just in case anyone wasn't clear, it doesn't matter how it taps. It's going to hurt you. So
it's like City of Brass.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It doesn't tap because of its mana ability. That's just a second ability of the land itself.
I can't think of that card without thinking of the
I
end
know.
card.
I'm really impressed that I said the real name of the card instead of the alternate name.
As we continue, the first ability can target any 2 blocking creatures a single opponent controls. Whether those creatures could block all creatures the other is blocking isn't determined until its ability resolves. So what that's saying is if an opponent has 2 blocking creatures, it doesn't matter if they couldn't block the other ones. You can still target those 2 creatures with this land. And then it just won't happen if the blocks can't be switched. So like, I think there's a black commander out there. I don't remember the name, but like when you target a creature with an ability or a spell, it destroys the creature. So you could still technically target both the blocking creatures and they both die to this ability. But I don't remember that card's name at all.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I couldn't.
yeah.
I was like, why would you do that then? You just like pain?
You could deflecting swat too. If someone goes to activate this and you have a deflecting swat, you could change it so they couldn't be switched. If you have another blocking creature, that would make it illegal.
Huh.
So there's that too, I guess.
So many valid points.
Yeah.
I'm just not that good of a Magic player to think of those things.
I've had time to consider why these rules are rules.
True.
Yeah. A blocking creature is one that has been declared as a blocker this combat, or one that was put onto the battlefield blocking this combat. Unless that creature leaves combat, it continues to be a blocking creature through the end of combat step, even if the creature or creatures that it was blocking are no longer on the battlefield or have otherwise left combat by then. So even if a creature was blocking something and the creature that attacked was bounced to the hand or destroyed, it's still considered a blocking creature, even though it's like not blocking anything anymore. When Sorrow's Path's first ability is activated, its second ability triggers and goes on the stack on top of the first ability. The second ability resolves first and may cause some of the attacking creatures to be dealt lethal damage. So that's just saying the damage will happen before the blocks are swapped. When determining whether a creature could block all creatures the other is blocking, take into account evasion abilities like flying, protection abilities, and other blocking restrictions, as well as abilities that allow a creature to block multiple creatures or block as though a certain condition were true. Take into account whether those creatures are tapped, but not whether they have costs to block, since those apply only as blockers are declared. So if your creatures get targeted by this, and you cast a pile-on and tap down those creatures for the convoke cost, then all of a sudden they're removed from combat. Alright, next. When the first ability resolves, if all the creatures that one of the targeted creatures was blocking have left combat, then the other targeted creature is considered to be able to block all creatures the first creature is blocking. If the ability has its full effect, the second creature will be removed from combat but not returned to combat. It doesn't block anything. So you can still swap even if the other creature is not blocking anything anymore. We got one last one. It's a juicy one. Abilities that trigger whenever one of the targeted creatures blocks will trigger when the first ability resolves. Because those creatures will change from not blocking, since they're removed from combat, to blocking, it doesn't matter if those abilities trigger when those creatures block the first time. Abilities that trigger whenever one of the attacking creatures becomes blocked will not trigger again, because they never stop being blocked creatures. Abilities that trigger whenever a creature blocks one of the attacking creatures will trigger again, though those kind of abilities trigger once for each creature that blocks. So if you have an Elder Gargaroth that says whenever it attacks or blocks, you can choose one of the things on it. If you use it as a blocker, and then this gets targeted on the Elder Gargaroth, you're going to get another when it blocks trigger.
Yes, but if because it's a blocker and then it's removed and it's not a blocker and then becomes a blocker again.
Yes. Fun times. But if you have a creature that says when it becomes blocked, this triggers, it won't trigger twice when you use this land. Makes total sense. You get double blocks, but not double blocked.
Yeah, not intuitive at all.
Yeah, that's why it's in the rules.
Yup. As long as you can understand them, they're there to help.
Yeah. The art is by Randy Asplund Faith. It's kind of neat looking, but it's an old Magic card. So Magic cards today just have a higher quality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 25 years for them, or 30 years for them to perfect it. So, or not perfect, but to make it better. You know, so I think it's pretty good for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to older Magic art, but it was definitely like the overall feel and genre of art in Magic has changed with the mediums that are used and the expected outcomes and things like that.
AI and plagiarism,
yeah.
all of the above.
All the things we love to hate.
So where can you play this card? It's legal in Legacy, Vintage, Commander, Oathbreaker, and Penny. Have fun.
Yep.
Yep. How much do you think this card costs?
Less than $1.
Less than $1. It should cost less than $1. If it got reprinted today, it would be worth nothing. It's $10, and that's got to be because of the rarity.
Oh my gosh. Stop putting value on things just because they're old. Like, it's one thing if it's a Black Lotus. It's another thing if it's a land that very few people are going to want to use.
Yeah.
I guess you really got to want to use it.
But I kind of do. Okay, hear me out. I found 2 decks this can go in. Mm-hmm. You've got Zedru, which I have. And I will give it to somebody else. This is your problem.
Yes, exactly. It's not you want to use it. It's you want to make other people use it.
Give me that island. You can have this. Yeah, and then there is a case for it to be in Indoraptor decks. I don't know if you remember the card, but it's a dinosaur that says when it's dealt damage, it deals damage to a random opponent equal to its power. So if you can tap this land, you can trigger an Indoraptor damage. So there's a small case for it. I think you can probably get away without running this land. Like, there's much more.
Yeah. There's a couple of dinosaurs that can benefit from effects like that. I run Polyraptor in my Atla dinosaur deck, and it says whenever it's dealt damage, you make a copy of it. So being able to just ping little damages and make a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's not a bad place for it either. Yeah.
It would also crack my eggs.
Oh, no.
All right. I may have come around. I take back my initial judgment of this card. Catch me running it in Atla Plani.
Okay, but don't count it towards your land count because it doesn't tap for mana.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that. I have Maze of Ith in a deck or two, and I'm like, oh, I have 36 lands. No, I don't.
So let's talk about this great bird that you picked for us today.
Yes, me picking the cards that everybody loves. Okay, so again, it was Maha. The flavor text on it is its wingspan reaches from dusk to dawn.
Okay, that sounds pretty badass, though.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So this card is, like you said, it's a board wipe on a stick. The entire game plan that you would run with Maha as a commander, or if you have a deck that has a similar feel, it can even go in the 99, is to do board control. And there's kind of 2 ways that you can do this. You can completely lock people out of the game, where you play cards like Karavek the Spiteful, or Knight of Soul's Betrayal, which both say creatures or opponent's creatures get -1/-1 as an overall effect. With power and toughness 1, you play anything, it immediately dies.
Listen to the names of these cards. Spiteful. What was it, like vengeful or something? Betrayal. You're the bad guy if you're playing these cards.
Hold on. I'll explain later when we get into it why Maha is not a bad guy. Lady.
What?
Bad lady.
No, it's a bad bird.
Bad bird. And then the other one is you don't have to have an overall like Lord effect that minuses creatures. You can just have something to use as a precaution to others. Hey, don't mess with me and I won't do this. So you can have something like Pestilence out on the board, which is 2 black, pay 1 black, and it deals 1 damage to each creature and each opponent. Then if there are no creatures other than Pestilence, you sacrifice it, which obviously Maha does not affect your board, so you would still at least have Maha if this is going to do what you want it to do. So you would never sack it in that way unless somebody somehow wipes your board.
Don't let them punk you. This just makes me think that Croson Grip is still relevant. Like, obviously, if they activate it immediately, because they'll have priority when it resolves. But Croson Grip would stop the Maha player from being able to activate that.
So you can hold up an effect like that and just kind of warn people off. Go ahead, fight with each other, let me be.
That's not the right way. Don't let them punk you.
This also gives you opportunity to use cool synergies with things that you don't see a whole lot necessarily, like Wither, where it deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters. Example would be Massacre Girl, Known Killer. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its toughness was less than 1, draw a card, and has Wither. So that's fun. No? Okay.
Fun.
Maha has... We already know that we have a different definition of what fun is. Maha has a couple of rules. The first one is Maha's last ability overrides all previous effects that set those creatures' base toughness of specific values. Any toughness setting effect that starts to apply afterward will overwrite this effect. So it's all about timing. Somebody plays something that makes all their creatures base power 2/2, and then you play Maha, well, their base toughness is 1 now. But if it goes the other way around and Maha was played first and then that effect, then it would be a 2/2.
Yeah, that's layers.
Yeah.
It's too complicated for me.
And then the second rules text says, effects that modify a creature's power and or toughness, such as the effect of Overprotect, will apply to that creature no matter when they started to take effect. The same is true for counters that change its power and or toughness and effects that switch its power and toughness. Playing a big butts deck, now you have something that is power 1, even though it's toughness 1, because a lot of those decks will swap. And then, if they have like a +1/+1 counter, well, now you have to fight through that +1/+1 counter too. This card was only printed in Bloomburrow, but it got 2 arts in the set. The base art was by Alessandra Pisano, and then there's the Field Note special art that I absolutely adore. That was done by Jeff Carpenter. My experience with this card is Bloomburrow pre-release happened on my birthday, July 26th, 2024. I forgot the year. And so for my birthday, I was gifted 2 collector boxes of Bloomburrow, and within them, I pulled a foil Field Notes Maha. And I was so excited, and I looked at the card, and I was like, oh, I can wreck some games with this card. I want to build a deck. And then somebody advised me against it, saying it was too mean.
Okay, but to be fair, bracket systems weren't a thing yet, right?
No.
Yeah, see, today I would just say bracket 4 or no bracket.
It would have been a 7. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's the problem, is you'd want to play it against Zedru. And that's a 2.
Yeah, which is funny because this is my new experience with the card is we have a friend who built a Maha deck that's bracket 3. Get out of here. And now I have to suffer against the deck that I wanted to build and punish other people with. I guess that's what I get.
You just have to remove it.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to.
Oh, yeah. I'm very aware of decks that have commanders that are remove on site. And I know how bad it feels. So I'm also really bad at doing that.
Shoot it.
Maha can be played in every format except for Pauper because it's mythic. The price of the card, depending on which version you want to get, and then foil versus non-foil, is somewhere between $45 and $75 currently, according to Card Kingdom.
Wow.
Yeah. Get over it. I'm a girl. I'm a typical girl, apparently, because Bloomborough was amazing, and I absolutely adored the lore. But I had not looked up all that much about some of the extra stories. Like, I knew a little bit, but not enough. So I dug into the lore behind Maha because, like you said, seems like a big bad. Look at this card that does nasty things.
Yeah.
No. Maha is a victim. So, a little bit of backstory for Bloomborough is it has no natural seasons. Instead, seasons are brought on by the appearance of calamity beasts, which are huge, non-sapient elemental creatures that are from Bloomborough, whose migrations bring a shift in temperature and environment that get called seasons. They don't have, summer, winter, fall, spring. I was in the wrong order, but you get my point. It's not like our stuff, which actually the set didn't make super obvious because you come out with the season lands and they all look like they represent the seasons that we know. No.
Yeah, traditional seasons, yeah.
And then, so the calamity beasts, there are minor calamities, which are pretty much always occurring. And these are represented by things like Rottenmouth Viper, which represents the blight snake, which causes nature to decay around it. The Sunhawk, represented by Pyre Swipe Hawk, known as the Harbinger of Summer. So they do have some of the same names, but not all of them.
They have concepts of traditional seasons, but don't have traditional seasons. What the heck?
Why not? Then there's Sunspine Lynx and Galewind Moose, which is Harbinger of Winter. And then you have your major calamities, and these don't happen on a regular basis, and sometimes there are extremely long periods of time in between them, even many, many years before this will happen again. Again, it's all about migration, so whatever these beasts need for migration, that's when it happens.
So are they just always on the planet? They slowly move around? Do you know? Or is it they come and go?
No, they're always present on Bloomborough.
They're just constantly shifting, just slowly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the major calamities are Beza, Harbinger of Spring, Eluge, Herald of Seasons of Deep Waters, Lumra, which represents the feeling of getting lost in the woods.
I hate that.
I don't know how that's a season. Wildseer, the Wildfire Wolf, Igra, which turns natural life around it into pillars of salt. Didn't gain that from the card. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Maha, the Season of Long Night. A quote, "We call it the Season of Long Night, whose wingspan brings darkness that blots out the sun from the sky, and in its wake we can see the constellations of the night sky above and every night sky before it. Back in the ages of our ancestors, it was said that its talons sheared through the air and cut a permanent darkness into being. Its most recent rampage seemed to be on account of its missing egg. It seems even a calamity can show parental affection." As said by Wick the World Mine.
That's terrifying, though. Not a bad guy.
Not a bad guy. So, King Glarb, that chunky little frog, hired the weasel Cruelclaw to steal Maha's egg, hoping to gain control of a calamity beast. Sounds like a good time. Let's just try to take control of a power of nature. You dumb frog.
What could go wrong?
Seriously. This caused Maha to go on a rampage, resulting in the destruction of the village of Pondside. Yeah, if someone stole one of my kids, I'm pretty sure you'd see me rampaging around too.
Yeah, they egged her on, am I right?
After Mabel and her companions discovered Glarb stole the egg, they defeated him and his mercenaries. Meanwhile, Dragonhawk, which Dragonhawk is a new enemy to Bloomburrow that behaves a lot like a calamity beast. All of the inhabitants thought it was a calamity beast that they just hadn't seen. Like maybe its migration pattern was that much in between that it wasn't in like known histories. But it is neither truly from the plane of Bloomburrow nor an elemental creature. Instead, it manifested from a dragon storm, which are native to Tarkir.
Well, a little foreshadowing going on.
Yeah, I hope so. And this was recognized by Ral Zarek, by the way. Go Otters. They're the best. Dragonhawk appeared fighting Maha. Maha defeated it and it withdrew from the plane. And once that was done, Mabel returned Maha's stolen egg, ceasing its rampage, and it departed peacefully to go back about its business. Don't mess with Mama. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
See, Maha's not a bad guy. She just mad. Stop messing with her babies.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, for all the dragon players, a bird kicked a dragon's butt. Take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just funny to think of a bird beating a dragon.
Well, this is like
Yeah.
a massive spiritual elemental bird
Yeah,
that
but just
literally turns everything into darkness. It's not just a bird.
No, take it out of context. A bird beat a dragon.
Okay.
Tell every dragon player that. So before we say goodbye, is there anything you're hyper fixated on?
Yeah. So I've been thinking about it a little bit lately, and we just recently went on a cruise. And before we went, we had talked about bringing magic decks. Nobody else that we were going with plays Magic, and it wasn't like a Magic-centric cruise. Why those don't exist, I don't know. I think they should, because that would be amazing. And then shout out to Magic Addict 24 on TikTok. Amazing content. Absolutely love it. Hilarious. They posed the question as well. They are also going on a cruise, and we're thinking about taking Magic decks. And so it's just been my thought, like, are we just so invested in Magic compared to the normal person that this is crazy talk? Like, people would, if we brought it up to anyone else, they'd be like, what are you talking about? Put down the Magic cards and go have fun. Or are there more people than I would assume out there who would do the same thing? Like, maybe I should, just in case. You know, there's gonna be downtime. You know, whenever you go on a cruise, you have days at sea, and there's only so much you can do on a cruise ship, I've come to learn, because this was my first one. And really, it's, you can drink, you can gamble, and then you can play some, what I consider really boring yard games. Like the, what's it called? The sandbag and
cornhole.
The cornhole.
Yeah.
You can only play that so many times. And we don't do those things. So, you know, there's going to be downtime. What if we come across Magic players?
We don't do those things. We're Magic players. We gamble, just not traditionally.
It's not gambling. It's just for pure fun and enjoyment. And then we also, we ended up not taking any decks, but we did spend a large amount of time looking around and being like, they look like they might play Magic.
Yeah.
I think maybe they might play Magic. You know, just kind of trying to pinpoint people. Not that there's really an overall look, because I'm sure a lot of people would look at me and not think Magic player.
It's true. Yeah.
But
that's why I brought my Magic sweater, because I wanted to see if anyone pointed it out. Nope.
no. We did see someone with a Hellfire t-shirt, though.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yes. D&D. And then I questioned, you like Stranger Things, you're wearing the D&D shirt. Is it only because you like Stranger Things, or do you like D&D? And if you like D&D, do you play Magic? Because that crossover happens a lot. But yeah, so that's just, you know, since we've gotten back about a week ago now, I've just thought about it, like, am I really just that much of a nerd that we're the only ones who will really consider? Like, people who are out there doing content and all this, obviously we are more invested in Magic than a lot of people, but maybe the average Magic player would consider it too.
I mean, if you have 4 Magic players on the boat, like, there's going to be 4, you definitely do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
It's when there's only 2 and you're Commander players. Because, I mean, could you play 1v1 formats? Yeah, but we don't really have many.
No, we have pauper decks, and I mean, you can sit down and play even a game of Commander one-on-one. It's not really how it's meant to be played, but you can. We've done it.
Yeah, it's not as good.
When you're going through withdrawals.
Yeah.
Because we miss a week of Friday Magic or whatever it may be.
Yeah, but now there's Spell Table, so I'll survive.
All right. Well, that is the end of our episode. You can find us on TikTok and Twitch at Dicentric Games for more Magic content, live streaming, and other nerdy shenanigans.
And if you would like to share any of the quirks that Magic has hidden in their cards, join the Discord in the description. If you have questions or suggestions for the show, please leave a comment or send us an email.
Yeah, we hope you learned something new. Let us know if there's anything about the cards we talked about today that you found interesting, or if there's just something else that you know about them that we didn't discuss. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Click all the buttons.
Do all the things.
Bye.